Together we're going to create the cosine equation for 3 different graphs that I give you. All you'll need to do is find the amplitude A, the vertical shift D, the horizontal stretch or compression, which is K and is based off of period, and the phase shift C. Then those get plugged straight into this formula. If any of them don't exist, like if there is no stretch, you can leave it off. We'll see an example of that at the end. Let's get to work. We need to find amplitude, vertical shift, stretch, the horizontal stretch or compression I should say, and the phase shift for this first one here. Wow, the amplitude, we have a formula for. It is max minus min divided by 2. Your job is to find how high it goes, 6, and how low it goes, -2. With those numbers, you can just plug them straight into the formula. A equals max minus min divided by 2. 6 minus -2 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. All right, my amplitude's 4. The D, or vertical shift, is the same formula but with a plus sign in between. That's 6 plus -2 divided by 2. It's positive 4 divided by 2. My D is 2 here. The K value is going to depend on the period. The formula for it is 360 degrees divided by the period, but what's the period? The way that I like to find it is finding the horizontal distance between 2 maximums. I have a maximum here, but this graph doesn't show me a second maximum. Damn. I can also use 2 minimums. This goes from -240 up to positive 480. Now, I don't know what the difference between those is, but I'll find out. 480 minus -240, that's a difference of 720. My period then is 720 because that's how long it takes to do one cycle. 720 degrees. I get a K that reduces to a half. All right, that's a nice number. When K is less than 1, it means the curve was stretched, and a period of 720 is definitely wider than the original period of 360, so I know it's right. The C value, or phase shift for a cosine function, if you're going to use cos in your formula, the C is simply the x-coordinate of a maximum. So you need to go and find a maximum. Here's one. And its x-coordinate for me is 120 degrees. So my C is 120 degrees. You can say 120 to the right if you're asked for a phase shift, but this is enough. I'm going to take those numbers and plug them in for the A, K, C, and D in this formula. You ready? Y equals amplitude for cos, open bracket. Then you put your K, that's 1/2. X minus your phase shift. Note that it's minus your phase shift. If we shifted to the right 120, which we did, positive 120 was our x coordinate, this is actually minus 120. It is flipped from what you expect. My vertical shift was 2, that's a plus 2 at the end. This is correct, I guarantee. Let's do it again. My amplitude is max minus min divided by 2. 4 minus -6. 4 minus -6, all divided by 2. I get 5. All right. My vertical shift is the same thing, but with a plus. That's 4 plus -6 divided by 2. I get -1 for the vertical shift. Oh, you couldn't see that. Ha. That makes sense because my vertical middle is at -1 and it seems to be going 5 higher and 5 lower. All right, makes sense. My K is dependent on the period. Oops, 360 degrees divided by the period. One of my maxes is at 0 and the next one's at 480. So I can just plop 480 in there because I know the difference between 0 and 480 is 480. And when I reduce that on my calculator, 360 over 480 gives me 3/4. It's a reasonable value of K, although rare. And my phase shift is dependent on any coordinate of any maximum. Here's a maximum. the x-coordinate is 0, which means there is no phase shift. I like it, I like it. We're going to plug these into the formula. Y equals amplitude times the cos of k. That's 3/4. Now I don't have a phase shift, so I don't even need to do bracket x minus 0. That's just x. I'm leaving off the minus 0 because there's no phase shift here. And then I have my vertical shift of -1, and I'm done. It was easy. Join me on a journey to do one more, will ya? All right, amplitude is max 8 minus min 4. Oh yeah, 8 minus 4 divided by 2 gives me 2. D is 8 plus 4 divided by 2. That gives me 6. Makes sense, because I started, my middle is at 6, I'm going 2 above and 2 below. I like it, I like it. K is 360 degrees divided by the period. I have one maximum at 60 and another one at 300. That's a difference of 240. And if you do that on your calculator, I think it reduces to 1.5 or 3/2. All right. And my phase shift, I need the x-coordinate of a maximum, like this one. The x-coordinate there is positive 60 degrees. You can say 60 degrees to the right. Plug these in. It's an old story now. Amplitude of 2, cos of k is 3/2, x minus the phase shift, which is 60, and my vertical shift is plus 6. Beautiful. That was so fast. We just did 3 graphs and some explanation in 7 minutes. I hope your homework goes just as quickly. Best of luck.